Now, that hostage deal between Israel and the Hamas terrorists who run Gaza has been delayed. There's going to be a 4-day truce starting right now, this hour, with Hamas releasing 50 of the Israeli hostages it took on October 7, children and women, in exchange for 150 Palestinian prisoners in Israel, criminals. Now, that's been delayed now for at least a day. Joining me again is Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner of the Israel Defense Forces. Lieutenant Colonel, thank you for your time. Why this delay?
Good question. I can't confirm we didn't announce the expected time that it would begin, and therefore we have not received the instructions when it will begin. This is the nature of, I would say, the suspicion between Israel and Hamas. And so there could be hiccups along the way. From our perspective, we are waiting for the instruction from the government to decide when exactly we should hold our fire from and take the necessary steps in order to be ready for both holding our fire on one hand and also bringing back the hostages on the other.
Yeah, there were reports that Hamas is not saying exactly who it's releasing. I mean, are they going to be live people? Who knows what the heck? Well, given that, I'm just wondering whether Hamas has effectively won itself another day of truce, which is today, an extra day, without releasing any hostages. Because I wonder how much you can do, given that you were expecting not to be shooting today. Have you actually downed weapons for the day?
Absolutely not. We are operating throughout northern Gaza Strip, expanding our operations, continuing to pursue Hamas, engaging the enemy wherever they are. We have a very clear message that we are continuing our war efforts, and if there is a operational pause, as instructed by the government, then it'll be an operational pause, nothing more than that. We will plan on continuing and advancing the stages after the operational pause, as instructed by the government and the Chief of Staff, the IDF Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi, yesterday initiated and approved the operational plans for after the operational pause. So I would say, we are moving forward. We're continuing to engage. We're revealing hundreds of tunnels. And indeed, yesterday we announced that since the beginning of the war, almost 7 weeks ago, we have destroyed some 400 tunnels and tunnel access points. We're continuing to reveal to the world the extent of the tunnel system that Hamas have built and used beneath the Shifa hospital. Unfortunately, we're watching as in awe, I think, with what's happening in Shifa hospital, and it appears that the international community, specifically the WHO, have nothing to say about it. They're not condemning Hamas, not even concerned about it. They're only concerned about how the IDF are operating in and around hospitals. But when we have proven that the concept of operations of Hamas is to use hospitals as protective, I would say, Iron Dome system to protect themselves from IDF operations, the international community seemed to be very confused about what's right and what's wrong.
Well, I noticed the World Health Organization was saying, oh, how shocking that you have military operations near a hospital. This is terrible. But as you say, hasn't said anything about the weapons you've found, even behind MRI machines. But that said, I wonder whether you're disappointed that when you got down in that maze of tunnels and you showed the rooms and all that kind of stuff right under the hospital, that there was actually little equipment, little to show that this was a Hamas headquarters. It was cleaned out. Was that a disappointment to you?
I think anybody with a reasonable mind in an understanding of the situation, for us saying for weeks that we intend on going to the Shifa hospital, telling the people to evacuate the hospital, basically announcing everything except the specific time and date when we were coming. I think they would be very, very, it would be very, very strange if we would have found everything in an operational situation. But yes, we know that they are operating there. We revealed how they tried to conceal it. They actually cemented the entrance points in order to try and prevent us from finding the access points to the tunnel system. So of course, when they understood that we're coming, they did everything in order to try and mitigate that. But even in all those efforts, over almost a month, throughout the month, they still left stuff behind that was incriminating and very decisive, the fact that they had been using And that's even without the videos that we released
Yes, I've
showing
shown
them
some of that.
taking in hostages into the hospital.
Yes, before I go, I saw a picture, Lieutenant Colonel Lerner, of the Hamas leadership in Gaza with crosses over the ones that you've managed to kill. It's just over a third, doesn't include the very top leaders, but a third are gone. The ultimate bosses over in Qatar, they're still living their life of Riley over there. How much damage do you think you've done to Hamas's fighting ability?
We're engaging them daily. We are killing them in their operational positions, in their command posts, in their observation positions, in their tunnels. You know, the tunnels can be perhaps can be an advantage, but they can also be death traps. So I would say we're advancing. They wouldn't have wanted the operational pause if it wasn't for the IDF's pressure on them. So they feel pursued. They are concerned for their lives, and clearly it's having an effect. I wouldn't want to put numbers on it, but we have several thousands of terrorists that have been killed in the engagements with the IDF, and we intend on continuing to dismantle and destroy them and their capabilities.
Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner, thank you so much indeed for your time. Really appreciate it.